Hello and welcome to a new episode of Aslan Live. In today's episode, we're going to take a deeper dive into the Gaziantep game. It is already a live episode out straight after the game, but I have watched the game again and I got some other perspective out of it. And I will load to show those screenshots here, but it's difficult because of the copyright thing, especially with Beansport. And for the people who don't know, it is already an intro episode out. From my background, I have played semi-pro football in Norway and I've done a bit coaching for local clubs. I'm not trying to say that I'm an expert on any level, but football is my passion, so it's just fun to do this. Yeah, we started the game really slowly and sloppy, where Eren Elmalu started the pressure too late, and then it built up from there, and Abdulkerim started too late. It's the Torreira situation where they wanted a penalty, and when you're doing this kind of pressure, high pressure, if one or two men are not on, it's gonna make a lot of space behind you, and they turned the play from our left side to the right side, where they came one-on-one against Salai, but Yunus and Torreira supported it perfectly, and Torreira got the tackle there. When he first did that, I thought it was going to be a penalty, but after watching it again and again, I don't think it's anywhere near a penalty because he's just taking the ball. Maybe he's hitting the Gaziantep player, but it is so soft that I won't call it a penalty, to be honest. That's my opinion. And after that, we started the game to play those long passes because Gaziantep closed our midfield and didn't have any pressure on our center backs. And still, their defensive line, I think, was a bit too high. So it was much space for Barış Alper, Salai, and when you have a center back like Davinson Sanchez or Abdulkerim, if they are not pressured, they are good enough to aim really good behind their defense. And I hope that we would play a bit more on the ground. But again, this field was really difficult. Not just that the ball bounced 10 times before you got the ball or received the ball, but to just stand on the pitch was really difficult. And in the beginning, we tried to play it to Yunus Akgün in his feet when he had a defender behind him. He lost the ball, and it was the time where Leroy Sané ran all the way back and won it. And it was one time Salah tried it, and he lost the ball. Gaziantep didn't get any chances from it. But if you keep doing that, Gaziantep will automatically get confidence, while our team will get lower confidence. So to almost invite them into the game, it's no point at all. So it was just difficult to play on the ground. But it was like some situations where Yunus Akgün was in the half space, and we tried to play it, for example, to Barış Alper with no angle. You saw, for example, Yunus Akgün was like telling Davinson Sanchez, just play it to me in the final third there, because it was much space there also. So try to mix it a bit more up, because from the last seasons also, it's some games that we have played too many long balls, I think. So but again, it was a difficult field, and it was so hot there, 35 degrees. It's really difficult to play the ball there, because players like Yunus Akgün, who is a really good technical player, even him struggled to control the ball, especially in the beginning of the game, because they were not used to that field. Suddenly the ball bounced on their legs or on their knees. Gabriel Sara also. But yeah, and our first goal before the penalty, it was Davinson Sanchez who played up to Yunus Akgün in the final third, and Yunus Akgün did what he does best. He had three mans around him, and he came out of that situation. And the one thing I loved in that position is that Salah he was wide first, and then he came inside to support Yunus Akgün. But then he saw that Yunus Akgün came out of that situation, and it created much space behind Gaziantep's defense. So Leroy Sané went inside and then run straight behind the defense. And Yunus Akgün, with his vision, of course, saw that. And we got the corner from there. And from that corner, we got the penalty. And again, I think it's a clear penalty. I see that some people are saying that Salah hauled Kevin Rodriguez first, but the ball was not in play when that happened, and therefore the referee can't do anything. But when the ball was in play, Kevin Rodriguez clearly held Salah there, and I think it's not really smart to do that, especially with VAR and yeah, I think it's a penalty. I think it's no doubt about it. So, but it all started from Yunus with three mans around him. And the second goal came where Abdulkerim. I didn't see many talk about that because straight after a second goal, I just wanted to see the reaction on Twitter. Maybe my algorithm is not the greatest. But Abdulkerim won the ball. Gaziantep could have easily got a really big chance from there, but Abdulkerim, he won the ball and started the attack where Gabriel Sara, yes, he played a fantastic ball to Barış Alper, who made a fantastic run and came out of his man and played a beautiful ball to Eren Elmalu, who also did a really good run. But it's one thing about Abdulkerim for me is that I know that many has like question marks about him. Is he good enough for the Champions League? We saw it 2 years ago. He has his weaknesses. But I think Abdulkerim deserves his respect also. In this game, I think he was fantastic. He was the player who had most passes in the game, and 62 passes and 95% where he hit correctly. So, and he won all the aerial duels. Gaziantep tried to play those long passes, but they couldn't win any of them because Davinson Sanchez, Salah, and Abdulkerim won all of them. So I think Abdulkerim deserves a bit more respect, and I'm also aware of his weaknesses. For example, in the situation in the second half where he got outpaced, from Gaziantep's winger. He has his weaknesses, but we also need to remember that in the 3 championship we have gotten in a row, it is not many that you can say have been crucial in all of those 3 championship. Yes, you have Abdulkerim, you have Torreira, you have Muslera. Davinson Sanchez, for example, has played in the 2 seasons. He wasn't there the first season. Icardi was injured in last season. So what I'm trying to say is that I think Abdulkerim is a really good player. Again, if he's good enough for Champions League on that highest level, maybe not, but we shouldn't take him for granted either. And I know that probably 95% are supporting him. I'm not, or 99, or I don't know the exact number, so I don't want to generalize either. But I think Abdulkerim played really great in this game. So and on the second goal where he wins the ball, yeah, it's just so nice by Abdulkerim. So another player we need to talk about is of course Barış Alper Yilmaz, because 1 year ago, 2 years ago, he would not have probably passed there to Eren Elmalu. And Eren Elmalu, what a run by him to run inside there and scoring his first goal for us. But to see Barış Alper doing that pass just makes his value so much more in and it's not just that pass, because he's been much better on the when he has defender behind his back. He doesn't lose the ball so often anymore, I think. And because I remember, Barış Alper, for example, against Croatia with the national team, yes, he played great as a striker. But again, it was against a team who stood really high with their line. In this game, yes, Gaziantep tried to stay with their line a bit higher, and against Strasbourg also, but you see that in sequences that Barış Alper is he's getting better and better with the man behind this with the defender behind his back. Because I remember especially one game, it was against Karagümrük in the cup in 2023-2024 season, and that's something that I remember, is that Kerem Aktürkoğlu and Barış Alper, it's a bit unfair because look at this team, but again, this team should have beaten a Fegoli who is playing defensive midfielder, for example. He played great that game, but yeah, just an example. Because in this game, especially Kerem Aktürkoğlu and Barış Alper, I remember it. It's three things I remember. It's Abdulkerim versus Marcao. Marcao looked like a 5-meter striker against Abdulkerim. It was almost like a meme, I remember. And it was also Kerem Aktürkoğlu and Barış Alper really struggle with the ball, with the possession. And we lost the ball so many times where we tried to attack. And Barış Alper lost the ball, Kerem Aktürkoğlu lost the ball, and we just got countered and countered. And it's a bit what I talked about in this game. We tried to do those passes with Yunus and Salah, and we just we didn't do it more after that. We didn't want to invite them into that game. But in this game, we did it all the time, and Barış Alper... What I'm trying to say is that Barış Alper has come so far. We saw it against Strasbourg also. Yes, they had a high line, but in different positions where Barış Alper got the man behind him, he plays a bit more easy with the ball on his feet. He's not perfect yet, but he's still got so much better than before. So yeah, he had 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 shots, and 1 shot on the woodwork, 3 key passes, and yeah, I just think Barış Alper, he was just fantastic in this game. So yeah, it was just nice to see, and he got the penalty on the 3-0 also. So Barış Alper, his value is really high, and you see that he's linked to Saudi Arabia, and I think he definitively should not go there. And the sad part is that his former team got 20 is going to get 20% of the next sale. So if we are selling it for 50 million euros, for example, we will get 40 million euros. So it's 10 million less, and 10 million euros for his former team, Keçemolu, I can't pronounce it right now. That's insanely amount for them. So But I just want us to keep Barış Alper, and I know that Okan Hoxha is really keen to keep Barış Alper. So yeah, I think we should do that. Barış Alper was fantastic in this game, and yeah, he's just getting better at those things, and he worked really hard. You know, it was one situation where we intercepted in defense also. Our team in total was really disciplined in this game. I think it was times where we were six people on the defender line with Jonas Akkun and Leroy Sané. And I want to talk a bit about Leroy Sané also, because yes, he didn't play really great, especially in the first half. We still need to remember that he played FIFA Club World Cup not long time ago. And for example, his teammates, where he played with Bayern München, they have not started their season yet. So, you know, they are still in their preseason. And that Leroy Sané wants to play like 90 minutes. And I think it still backfires a bit on, you know, we remember the rumors that Fenerbahce didn't want him because he just thought about the money. Leroy Sané, you see that he's just so hyped on playing. He just wants to play and play. And the second half was much better. He still needs to get in form. But again, what I love is that he's tracking back. He's doing the work. He's not always winning those 50-50s. It's not his strength. He's not the most aggressive player. But he's disciplined. He does the work that he needs to. I remember I watched the quarterfinal with Bayern München against Inter Milan, and Inter Milan plays like a really strange football. So if you're trying to man mark AC Milan players, you can suddenly, if you are a winger, you can be a defender, because they are dropping down with their midfielders. Inter Milan. They are dropping down with their midfielders. So Hakan Çalhanoğlu is one of the three many times, or Barella. But their center backs is suddenly, you know, they're attackers. So it was one situation where Leroy Sané just followed this man all the way down to the defenders, and he was alone with Inter Milan's center back. So he does the work, and you can't compare him to, you know, Ziyech or Zaha at us, because first of all, Leroy Sané, yes, he will lose the ball. He did lose the ball sometimes. But in general, he will try to keep the ball if he can't dribble. Because he would not have survived 9 seasons combined in Bayern München and Manchester City if he had not been good at that and doing the work. You know, in modern football, everybody needs to do the work. And I'm not expecting our wingers, you know, to be like Torreira or Lemina to win the ball all the time, or Davinson Sanchez, because Jonas Akkun's strength is not there either, you know, like he's not like the beast to win the ball. He did it on the 3-0 goal. I would talk about that. But to just try to do the work at least is more than enough, you know. And for example, look at PSG. We are all seeing that picture when the opponent teams are trying to play out from behind from their goal kicks. You see that Dembélé looks so ready to just run there. Doué, Kvaratskhelia, everybody needs to, you know, do that job in today's football. You can't have like Ziyech or Zaha who just didn't want to do that and was so ego when they had the ball. I know that Zaha dribbled a lot, but the thing about Ziyech for me is that he tried those impossible passes all the time. He tried those shots, and he scored a lot also. I'm not trying to say that, but what for me about Ziyech was that he tried those long passes so many times, or those through passes so many times when it was no space there. So our flow was just so bad in many games. But you see Leroy Sané, yes, he had a really good through ball to Jonas Akkun, but they didn't do that many times. You saw many times that he just passed it into the midfield or to Eren Elmalu. So he keeps the ball, and that's so nice. And Leroy Sané missed a really big chance, and we need to get used to it because he is that player who is getting to so many chances, and his finishing are not, on top level. He has done this so many times in Bayern München. So, but what I love about Leroy Sané is that he's so versatile. He's good with his ball in his feet. When he can do those passes, for example, play Jonas Akkun through, but he can also come alone with the goalkeeper from his big position or his big chance, where Abdulkerim had a fantastic ball to Leroy Sané. He can do both, and that's something I really. It's a really big skill, I think, and Jonas Akkun is also the same. So Leroy Sané still needs time, but I can't see any comparison to, for example, Zaha or Ziyech, with all respect to them, but I think he is on another level, Leroy Sané. But on the 3-0 goal, just quick about that, it was that Jonas Akkun won the ball in a high pressure on the line, on the right side. He dribbled, he came out of that position because Jonas Akkun is a fantastic player to come out of those positions. And he played it to Sané, who played it to Barış Alper, and Barış Alper got the penalty. I think also that's a penalty. I don't know what the Gaziantep player is doing. Why does it take his feet? He doesn't see the player, and he's just trying to... Yeah, he's stamping on Barış Alper. It's, for me, easy or not, it's a penalty. So yeah, I don't know why people are like screaming so high for this. It's just bad. It's amateur mistakes from Gaziantep. So yeah. Oh, sorry. And this is something I also want to talk about a bit, is our midfielders. Because, wow. First of all, here we see some stats. In the 9 matches played by Lemina, Torreira, and Sara, we have scored 26 goals and conceding only 3 goals. One thing is that's some insane stats in those 9 matches, but we also need to remember that in those 9 matches, we played quarterfinal in the cup against Fenerbahce away. We played the semi-final in the cup. It's always difficult against Konyaspor. And we played league game against Trabzonspor away. We played cup final against Trabzonspor. So to do it against those teams, to only conceding 3 goals in 9 games, is for me fantastic. And I just want to give each of them respect. For example, Lemina. In the Gaziantep game also, those 50-50 duels that he's winning is just so important. Because we remember the Young Boys games, for example. I'm taking that as an example, where they came, against our defenders all the time, or many times, because we didn't have that strong midfielder. Torreira and Sara, they're always doing a good job, but they are not that physical players in that term. But to have like Lemina there, who is winning the ball when they are trying to attack and starting a new counter-attack for us, for example, instead of that the opponent would have gotten a chance there. It's just so valuable. So Lemina, and is so good in the high pressure also. And to win those 50-50s, he's just an incredible important player for us. Torreira, he saved us, in the second half where he, if you guys remember, he tackled. I don't know how he tackled the ball there, but he did it, and Gaziantep had like 100% chance there. But Torreira saved us, and Torreira played a good game. He always playing like 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10. He's just so stable. He's a fantastic player. And just one thing about Torreira also, that he's getting yellow card for that is only because of the social media and journalists who is like, Torreira is never getting yellow cards. Torreira is never getting yellow cards. We saw how easily we were getting yellow cards in the last part of the season. So for me, it's just absurd, that yellow card. It's just so, he's not, I don't understand it. But another player I want to talk about in this picture is Gabriel Sara. I know that many people are saying that Barış Alper was the man of the match, and of course he was. But for me, the player, after watching it again, Gabriel Sara, wow. He is, he is helping with the pressure with the striker, with Barış Alper on the center backs. But when we were getting played out of that pressure, because it's happening, he was running straight back into that three midfielders with Lemina and Torreira. He was running everywhere, and he did some mistakes with the ball, but in overall, I think he was really great. And this about Gabriel Sara, that he is more comfortable as a 6 or a 8. I think that he's really trying to adapt in this new role, and it seems like he's coming slowly and surely and making it to his own role. Because in this match, I saw something really nice. It was that he switched really much. He switched much more up. He came more to the defenders to get the ball in his feet. Because the last part of the season, when he played as a 10, it was like you just took out Mertens and put in Sara. And Sara is not the best in those tight situations. But when he's trying to mix it up, because Gabriel Sara is extremely good in those deep runs to come in to the final third. For example, against Fenerbahce in the cup game, if you guys remember, where he took that fake movement on Amrabat. You guys probably remember it. He coming from the deep there. He has some incredible movements. He's really smart. But to make that role into his own, because as the one of the two central midfielders, Gabriel Sara has his weaknesses, especially defensively. With the ball, of course, he's extremely good. But in this role, I truly believe that Gabriel Sara can get absolutely his potential out in this role. So Gabriel Sara for me was one of the best players in this game, and this midfield, we should keep this midfield. I don't think we should do anything else with this midfield, because look at these stats, and we're just playing much more controlled. Gaziantep had almost they didn't have any chances. I think they had that where Torreira tackled, and maybe that where that Abdulkerim got passed through. Other than that, they didn't have any big chances. And another thing is that from before the red card, in the second half, I saw that slowly but surely Gaziantep was really finished, and we just kept going. And one situation is that the Gaziantep, Kolevski, tried to shoot from the midfield, if you guys remember that situation. It just shows that they didn't have power to come up with their team, and they were really tired, so they just tried to shoot from the midfield, and you're 3-0 down, you know. It's when you're getting a counter attack, you should at least try to attack. But yeah, you see that we were just on another level there also. We have shown that in the friendlies. So to see that we are in really good form right now is of course good, but we need to keep that, you know, it's not point to be in like in the best form right now. You want to be on the highest form every day, but that's not going to happen. So to have like that slowly form coming up or coming up is of course important. So I think in overall it was a really from our midfielders. They are so important. So when Icardi is coming back, when Osimhen is coming back, I don't know how we're going to play. But another little detail I want to talk about is how fluid our team are actually. Is that in um, in one part of the game, this was our lineup when we had the ball, with Abdulkerim, Sanchez, and Salah as center backs or the players who played out, you know, in the defense. Lemina was wide, Sara and Torreira met. Eren was wide, Sané was like a 10, and Barış Alper and Yunus Akın was acting as strikers. And then it was other part of the game where Barış Alper was like a 10 and Torreira. Sara was the deep one. Lemina went down as and supported Sanchez and Abdulkerim. And Salah went wide and high. And Yunus was as a striker. And one thing here is that, you know, when you're playing against, for example, a player like Yunus Akgün, you will get man marked at some points, you know, because you don't want Yunus Akgün. He break through the lines and was exceptional with the ball, you know, and the teams are going to know that, so they're going to be extra aware on Yunus, for example. So to Yunus to just go a bit out of position, it's gonna make so much more space for, you know, for example, if he's playing with Icardi or Barış here, for example, they will get so much more space because they're focused, you know, extra on Yunus, for example. And to see that everyone is just filling up the position was just so great to see. This is just some small details I watched from the game. But yeah, it just looked like our team was so fluid, I think. And they were really disciplined in this game. It was not the best game we played, you know, but because we got like 2 penalties from amateur mistakes from Gaziantep, I think. But in overall, we didn't give them any chances, and that's so good to see. And I think that has much to do with the midfield. So, as we talked about, I just want to talk about Zaniolo also, because I've seen that, you know, the fans are really divided on Zaniolo. And from the stats here, it looks like he's doing a good job. I'm just saying from my perspective, and you don't have to agree with that. It was one situation where Leroy Sané dribbled on the left side and Zaniolo was open on the right side. He passed to Zaniolo. Zaniolo tried to dribble straight forward, you know, onto the line. And luckily he got the corner. But there he should easily have played out to Berkan Kutlu, who he was so open outside the 16 there. And we could have got to a so big chance there. Zaniolo, my problem with, not problem with him, but what I don't admire so much is his choices with the ball. He's not the best at that. It's many times he can, for example, pass, but he tries to dribble where it is 4 Gaziantep players, and he doesn't have that physique he had before. His knee injuries. He still needs time, of course, because he just came out of from an injury. But we saw it in the friendlies also. I think that his choices with the ball, I don't like it, and he can often dribble him in trouble. So if it is possible to get money from him, of course, it would have been the best. But yeah, and he had a really good run in the last minute. He met, and then he created a lot of space behind the defense, so he ran straight into that space and almost got the penalty. So maybe he did an okay job, but in my eyes, I think we should try to get rid of him, especially with the foreign rule. But of course, I respect if people want him also, and I would support him if he's staying. So, but I'm not buying that he's a fantastic player. He did so good for us in this game, and he has just done so much well for us. He scored against Umranespor. Yes, he scored in that friendly, but in overall, I don't think he was good in that game either. To be honest, he lost the ball so many times, had many passing mistakes, like crucial passing mistakes, or the choices with the ball. So I'm not buying that. He's extremely good for us. But another player I want to talk about is also Arda Ünyay, who, first of all, I love that he got the substitute and got some playing time. He came in the 64 or 65 minute, and yeah, just a joy to watch him. I don't want to give him too much pressure, but again, against these players, he's winning those aerial duels easily. He is not afraid. He's taking those long passes. For example, he switched the play to Berkan Kutlu one time. He's not afraid to take that responsibility. He's just showing that I want to play. I want to play. So Arda Ünyay for me, it's a really special talent, and I see that he's also improving because, and he's gonna do that. He's 18 years old, but in the friendlies he was a bit maybe. I love that he's aggressive. Don't get me wrong, but maybe a bit too much, and he's gonna learn. He's 18 years old, but he gave so much space behind him in some situations. But it was one situation here in the Gaziantep game where he went up, but he saw that, okay, I can't win that ball. So he dropped down much more quickly than in the friendlies. And it's just so nice to see that he will learn really quickly. But I think like Davinson Sanchez is his, for example, idol. I think he looks really much up to him because of the playing style. Also, he's a bit similar with the Davinson Sanchez, and Davinson Sanchez can also do those mistakes sometimes. But of course, Davinson Sanchez, if he sees that he can't win the ball in many times, he will just stay there, to not open up the space behind him so much. And this is an experience thing. As much more you are going through those situations, you will know those situations more, like, okay, I can't win it there. I'm just going to stay back. So yeah, but in overall, I love that he's not afraid. He's taking responsibility, and I think he played really great. He had really special talent, I think. So I can't wait to see more of him. And I see that we are linked with Zeki, for example, Zeki Celik. I said it in one of my first videos, actually, that I would have Zeki Celik as a substitute player would not have been bad, because we didn't have that four Turkish player, but now we have Arda Ünyay, and I want him to be in the Champions League squad also, because it's a bit strange if you're not including them into the Champions League squad, but they are in the league squad, for example. You can do that, of course, but with the four Turkish player, I think, yeah, maybe, I don't know, but Arda Ünyay, I hope he's going to get more and more playing time, because He deserves it. That's it. He deserves it. And this is some stats from the game. Gaziantep had 0.16 expected goals. We had 2.42 xg, but probably 1.60 are from penalties because we got 2 penalties, and I think it's 0.80 per penalty on the xgs. But yeah, one thing here is that in this field we had a really high passing percentage, I think. So 89%. That's great. So if you had asked me right straight after the game, I wouldn't have believed it. But yeah, it's we had a high percentage. So Gaziantep had not many chances, and we had 5 big chances. Gaziantep had 0. I think like where Torreira tackled in the last second, we could have been punished there. But yeah, and touches in the opposition box, we had 32, while Gaziantep had 11. So in overall, a good game, but not like a incredible game. But I don't expect that either. So not yet. So okay, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Bye.